because I put up a tweet today that's been getting a lot of clicks, and I was talking about some of the notable quarterbacks and their success under Kyle Shanahan. So we look at RG3. He was obviously a first round pick when Kyle Shanahan was there with Washington, whatever they back then. They were obviously a different name, but the Commanders. Rookie of the year. He had Matt Schaub in Houston, got him to be a Pro Bowl quarterback. He had Matty Ice, Matt Ryan in Atlanta, MVP season, Super Bowl appearance in the years that he was there. He had Jimmy G, 2 NFC championship games, a Super Bowl appearance. Even a guy like Nick Mullins that was an undrafted free agent broke, I guess, records as far as the amount of yards he threw in a season under Kyle Shanahan. So for everything that's been said about Kyle Shanahan and his inability to necessarily maybe draft a quarterback and create him, there's this narrative that he needs a finished product. He can't develop a quarterback. He does have a lot of success there as far as what he's been able to do with quarterbacks. Now he finally got his guy in Trey Lance. They obviously traded up to get him. And out of all the selections that were there, they had 3 or 4 quarterbacks that they could select from. They chose Trey, and they seem pretty happy with that pick. But seeing what you know about Kyle Shanahan and just maybe his history overall, do you believe Kyle Shanahan could get the most out of a guy like Trey Lance, and why or why not?
Yeah, so before I answer the question directly, I want to just talk about Jimmy Garoppolo real quick. In this offseason, right? Obviously, the shoulder surgery derailed trade talks. But I think also, as a part of trade talks, some teams may be hesitant to trade for Garoppolo because they believe if Kyle Shanahan is trying to move on from him, they might not be able to get obviously, I think other teams in the NFL respect Kyle Shanahan as an offensive guru, that they think that if they get a Kyle Shanahan product, someone that Kyle Shanahan's trying to move on from, then there isn't much value in those type of people, right? Hence, probably as a part of the reason why Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't been moved. And I think when the league is speaking like that or about Kyle Shanahan, I think that that's important to note because it does show in a way to his pedigree. And then I saw your tweet. You talked about Griffin, Matt Schaub, Garoppolo, Matt Ryan, and all these different guys that Kyle Shanahan has kind of helped, right? And obviously, the one thing that people like to hold against him, all of these guys were established quarterbacks, and the one guy he drafted, Robert Griffin, didn't necessarily pan out into an amazing NFL quarterback, right? But with me for Trey Lance, can he get the most out of Trey Lance? I think it's actually a little more of an interesting question. Because when you're asking to get the most out of Trey Lance, you're not necessarily thinking about the team overall. You're thinking about individual. And when we see how Kyle Shanahan has run his offense in San Francisco with Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm, what has it been? A ton of running the football, right? We haven't necessarily seen a prolific passing offense. I think we were 30th in the NFL in passing attempts last year. However, does that mean that Kyle Shanahan isn't is somewhat afraid of running a pass-first offense? Obviously not. We saw Matt Ryan in back 2015, 2016, when he had near MVP numbers, throwing for a significant amount of yards, and they still had a prolific rush attack, but obviously the majority of their offense was through the air. So I don't think that Kyle Shanahan can get the most out of Trey Lance. I'm just very interested to see what is the offense that we implement in 2021. Will it be a ton more of running, obviously, because Kyle Shanahan, in a way, apart from the RG3 season where there was a ton of running in that system as well, he hasn't necessarily been in the other situations have been with established passers in a way. So I'm interested to see, will he try and be a little more conservative with his first year with a rookie quarterback as they're trying to start up that development even more, or will they be as Kyle Shanahan kind of wants in a more passing offense?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you can say that Kyle Shanahan is a guy that opens up the passing game, because even when he had Matt Ryan as his quarterback, Rohan, he was still bottom 5 in pass attempts per game in the NFL. Like, he just doesn't tend to throw the ball a lot. He just believes in the run setting up the pass. So it's always going to be, 25 to 28 pass attempts. I think the highest he had was with Matt Ryan, which was closer to, I think 30 per game. But with Jimmy Garoppolo, it's always been between 26, 28. Trey Lance himself in college averaged 16 pass attempts per game. So he's not somebody that has a lot of experience throwing the ball, 30, 40, 50 times like a guy like Joe Burrow was doing at LSU. So I don't expect necessarily this to be a pass-heavy offense in the sense that that he's going to throw the ball a lot more. But I do think that Kyle Shanahan does know how to call games and would revolve the offense to call the best plays for the talent that he has in front of him. And when you look at RG3, right? RG3, very similar situation to Trey Lance, even though RG3 was a rookie when he started, same age as Trey Lance, dual threat quarterback with mobility as well as the ability to throw the ball, much like Trey Lance. And I believe that because of that experience with RG3, that's going to bode well for Kyle Shanahan and his ability to coach up Trey. And I think the biggest misconception about Trey is this guy likes to run a lot. Even though he did a lot of that at NDSU, he wants to be a pocket passer. So even though he has that ability to be mobile, he still wants to be a pocket passer, which is the kind of quarterback that Kyle Shanahan wants. And that added mobility, I think, is just going to be an added weapon that Kyle Shanahan could foster. So for me, it just seems like he's able to get the best out of a quarterback because of the scheme, because of how he utilizes the weapons around him, and the fact that he just doesn't ask he doesn't need to ask the quarterback he doesn't ask of his quarterback what like Kansas City asks of Patrick Mahomes or what Josh Allen is asked of by Buffalo, right? He just needs a consistent quarterback that is going to make the smart decision, take what the defense gives him, and doesn't turn the ball over a lot. I think Trey Lance can do all of that. So I just believe that year after year, we're just going to see an epic rise to Trey as he gets more and more confidence under Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, I agree.